Recently, you guys saw my team for Pokemon Violet. Today, I'm giving you my team for Pokemon Scarlet. In comparison to my Violet team, you guys will see that the differences are gonna be pretty huge. For Pokemon Violet and for my first ever playthrough, I've already played Pokemon Violet, so I have a decent idea of what I'm going to use. However, with me now knowing the vast majority of the decks, I can now put together a brand new team of Mons I haven't used before. So realistically, this is a brand new experience in its own right. I can safely say, you guys probably aren't going to be expecting a lot of these. But with that, let's hop into my starter of choice for Pokemon Scarlet. Before we start though, you guys should head over to Mystic Umbreon's Shorts, where we'll be having daily Scarlet and Violet content coming out, as well as daily Pokemon facts. After the best team goes up, I will actually be starting a brand new Scarlet and Violet series exclusively over there on Mystic Umbreon's Shorts, that I think the majority of you guys will like. Also, if you like anime and fanfics, head over to Mystic Reads, where I'm currently reading Road to be a Pokemon Master Kanto Edition, an adventure with Ash and Serena going through Kanto together. If you like anime, I'm reading through the Yaju Sanin, a Naruto fanfic. I will leave the links for both these channels in the description below and the iCard above. For my starter Pokemon, you guys already know how much I love Meowscarada. However, the second place contender is definitely Skeledirge. This starter, I would say, is definitely the most fan favorite of the three, and I can't argue that. If not for my personal bias towards Meowscarada, I would argue it's the best starter design-wise. Seeing it though, I immediately told myself I would be using this on my second playthrough. Fuecoco surprised me with this evolution, and the ghost typing it brings to the table. With its signature move Torch Song, you can decimate the games easily. It brings Skeledirge's special attack stat up by one stage every time it's used. This, from an in-game point of view, is insanely powerful. If you guys have watched my opinions video on the starters, you'll know I was expecting it to be a physical attacker. And I mean, how could you not with those strong jaws? Pun intended, by the way. This design-wise, by the way, is definitely in my top 3 favorite fire Pokemon starter designs, with Infernape being at the top and Typhlosion being in second, Hisuian form as well. Bottom line, I love Skeledirge, and I'm excited to use this thing to decimate Paldea. Up next is a mon I wasn't expecting to use, but after thinking about it, I decided it could be an interesting choice, especially considering its typing. My next mon is Tinkaton. Design-wise, it's interesting. Not in a bad way though. It's not like my favorite designed Pokemon of all time and isn't in like my top 10 favorites or anything like that, but it's not one that I particularly hate though. Gen 9 has a lot of Pokemon like this in my opinion though. The first thing I see when looking at Tinkaton is Amy Rose. I mean, think about it. Pink and hammers. Doesn't get much more Sonic than that. Its stat line is pretty unique, and the fact it's a fast, specially defensive wall with some unique options in its learn set and move pool. What really got me though was the typing of Fairy and Steel. We've seen in the past with the likes of Mega Mawile and Zacian that its typing is amazing. I see it as like a stage 3 Mawile in a sense. Its most powerful attack is Gigaton Hammer, which has 160 power, but it can't be used twice in a row. Regardless of this though, I can still see Tinkaton OHKOing many Pokemon. It's a very unique Pokemon, I'll give it that, and I want to use it on my team. The third slot on my team was kind of decided on a whim. I wanted to use a grass type, but I didn't want to use any past generation ones. Obviously, I chose Meowscarada my first go around, but I didn't want to use it again. I also wanted to use a new mon. My only real option came in the form of Arboliva. I have to eat my words here because I mentioned specifically on my mons I wouldn't be using list that Smoliv was one of the Pokemon I would not be using. However, after seeing its final evo, I changed my mind. I actually kind of like it. My other option could have been the Capsakid line, but I changed my mind and wound up using Arboliva instead. Obviously, Meowscarada outclasses it, but it's a casual playthrough, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. After inspecting its move pool and stats, however, it disappoints me in some aspects. Not that I dislike it, it just reminds me of the fate poor Maractus took. High special attack, but not a very lively move pool. It does have 2 interesting abilities in Seed Sower and Harvest, however. Seed Sower activates when Arboliva is hit and activates grassy terrain, which ups the power of grass type moves, and Harvest allows the user to reuse its berries. In-game, I can't really see these being extremely helpful. But I'm not writing it off either. Bottom line, it's a grass type, and I needed one for my team. Here's a case of a Pokemon where I don't really love the pre-evolution, but I absolutely love the final evolution. Lokix is actually one of my favorite designed mons from the Scarlet and Violet decks. After seeing it wander around the world in my Violet playthrough, I immediately knew it would be on my Scarlet team. Upon seeing this mon, it reminded me a lot of Genesect and Scizor. It rocks out with base 92 speed and 102 physical attack, with the bug and dark type. The move pool also looks pretty vast and unique with what I can do with it. Having a dark type around will also help me in various parts of the game. Nimble is also available straight from the get-go, so I'll have it the vast majority of my playthrough. There's not much else to say about Lokix, other than I really look forward to using it. At the penultimate entry, this was a last-minute decision with a certain Dragon-type Pokemon I saw. And no, it's actually not Cyclizar as much as I do like it. No, the Pokemon I decided on was actually Tatsugiri. At first, I thought that it would be able to evolve, and that it was the pseudo-legend of the games, considering it's a Dragon-type. However, I was wrong on both ends. It's not the game's pseudo, and it doesn't evolve. Despite not having these aspects though, I actually want to give it a try. What's neat about Tatsugiri is that it has 3 forms: the orange, red, and yellow. The yellow one being the one I want to use because it raises speed. For being a dragon type, it doesn't have the same move pool capabilities like how some previous dragon types have. I do like its typing though of dragon and water. It reminded me of Kingdra, which I am a big fan of. Unfortunately, like most dragon types, it's available relatively late game, but that won't stop me from using it. I will say though, that I do like how Pokemon like Bagon and Gible are available earlier. Who knows, maybe they'll be on a best team. The last Pokemon I decided on was the evolution of Primeape, being Annihilape. I've always been a huge fan of Primeape since the OG days of Pokemon, mostly because of Ashes. Which, by the way, congratulations. But you suck for not going back to Primeape. I think we can all agree on that. Anywho though, Annihilape's existence blew me away. And I didn't know it existed until literally this morning before I started writing this script. I actually haven't seen its design yet as I am writing this, but I've been told it looks very solid. Originally, I was actually going to have Hawlucha as my fighting type, but that changed my mind upon hearing of this Pokemon's existence. It's a ghost fighting type that eats all the bananas, and I hope it goes bananas in my playthrough, especially with its new move, Rage Fist. I guess you could say its favorite band is Rage Against the Machine, especially after going against Team Star. Ah, the perfect joke to end off a perfect team. Well, this is going to be the final team I wound up using for Pokemon Scarlet. I also look forward to seeing Koraidon eat the sandwiches like Miraidon does. It's honestly really wholesome and adorable, surprisingly. Anywho though, I feel this team is pretty unique, especially with the options I chose. I'm pretty excited to see Annihilape's design. And you guys will know my opinions on all the new Pokemon in a few weeks from now, so stick around until then. With that though, what did you guys think of my team? Also, what team did you guys wind up picking for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching the video and for coming through and enjoying Scarlet and Violet with me. We've got so much content coming surrounding Gen 9 through the end of the year and beyond, including the top 10 strongest Pokemon, the best team for the games, and much more. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. When we get to 5,000 subs on the channel, we're going to have a new series related to Scarlet and Violet that will be exclusive to there, so go subscribe. Also, if you're into fanfictions or Genshin Impact, check out Mystic Reads and Tevotchnary. I offer a ton of creative spoken word content over there, and I do a bunch of theories and lore videos surrounding Genshin Impact. So come join me over there at that Float Your Boat. That's all for now. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time for more Scarlet and Violet content.